Welcome, viewers, to today's broadcast. My name remains Paul, and today's date is September the 22nd, 2024. As usual, I'm going to title my broadcast Migrating to the US Useful Tips, Part 8F. And very briefly, I would conclude the last series I started. I had spoken about it in my last video, which is the requirements for an R1 non-immigrant visas. And so I'm going to conclude it, and then I will move on to a different category, the category P1 category. I had also mentioned this in one of my earlier videos. The P1 category is actually for athletes, that is sportsmen and women, entertainers, content creators, film actors, and the like. And so, as usual, I'm not sure I'm going to conclude it today because it's quite lengthy. And so, first and foremost, I want to conclude the R1 visa processes by mentioning that the R1 visa processes can also be denied. As I want to mention very briefly some of the reasons why the R1 visas may be denied. And one of such reasons will be, one, incomplete documentation. Now, the USCIS requires extensive documentation to support an R1 visa application. Now, this includes evidence of the applicant's religious qualifications, the nature of the religious organization, and the job duties and responsibilities. If the documentation is incomplete, inconsistent, or inadequate, the visa may be denied. And so it's quite simple and self-explanatory, meaning that for the R1 visa to be approved, now all of the details must be there about the pastoral duties, the religious organization, and if there are any inconsistencies, or if there are documents that are incomplete or inadequate, then it's a ground for denial. Now, the second one there is incomplete application. Now, the application form may not have filled out all the mandatory fields. In other words, when you are filling out the application, either at the first stage, the petition, or the second stage, which is attending the interview at a consulate or at an embassy in the foreign country where the minister or missionary is coming from. Now, you must have to fill out all the required fields. And some of those fields are mandatory. Okay? So you just have to fill out the forms very accurately and pay attention to all the mandatory fields. You have to fill out all of them, because if you don't fill them out, unfortunately, the visa may be denied. The third reason may be immigration violations. If there is information online that shows the applicant has violated the U.S. immigration status or rules, now this could be a reason for denial. In other words, any applicant for an R1 non-immigrant visa must be careful not to engage in any immigration violations, because that could lead to denial. Therefore, care must be taken. All the information must be correct. All the documentations must be correct. And then, if not, then the visa may be denied. The next point will be criminal history. Now, a criminal record can be a top reason for visa rejection. In other words, the applicant who is planning to come over to continue his or her religious duties in the U.S. must be careful not to get into any criminal issues. either in his home country or otherwise, because most and oftentimes there's always that investigation. Now the USCIS will carry out investigation in that country, and most and oftentimes they will request what they call a police report, and that police report will state whether the applicant coming from the foreign country has good records in his home country or in her home country, as the case may be. Therefore, any criminal record is a problem, and it is advised that prospective applicants wishing to take this route as priests or as missionaries must endeavor to be clean in terms of their criminal histories and all that. They must be seen to be law-abiding persons in their home country. Okay, now next point is health concerns. Some countries require a medical exam, and certain health issues might lead to rejection. When you are processing your application at the American embassy, sometimes it depends on the nature of the visas you are applying for. They will require that you undergo what they call medical check, medical examination. And usually they will give you the addresses where to do that in your home country. Now it depends on where you're coming from, whether Africa, Asia, Europe, or wherever. Now they have medical centers or medical or hospitals. They always have some affiliation with, so they will send you to those health organizations, and then they will require that the professionals there would go through your medical history and be able to write them a report. So it's very important that your country, because they have information about almost every country in this world, and so they might want to request that because you are coming from a particular country, you now have to do or take steps. Certain medical requirements might be demanded of you. So it is important that once those requirements are sent to you ahead of the interview, you must have to undergo those medical examination, and then of course forward the results to them. Now, another reason that could lead to denial is past immigration violations. In other words, if the applicant has been involved in fake applications earlier on, or there may have been some time, maybe the applicant may have visited the American embassy in his or her home country, and it comes to light that some falsifications happened, some lies took place, some manipulations took place, or maybe the applicant had made multiple applications with false information. Now, such things can lead to a denial. Another important factor that could lead to denial is financial reasons, because each application has financial requirements and financial requirements. And so to be able to jump that hurdle or to pass the test, now you must have to meet up with all the financial requirements as needed by the USCIS, because usually they set out all the requirements that you need, how much you must have. If you're coming from a particular organization, that organization will be able to send across their statement of account and be able also to say, well, they're able to sponsor, they're able to pay the monies, they're able to pay you your wages and all that. Or even if you require accommodation in the US, they also have to pledge that they have resources for some of those things. So it's important that you must bring forward a healthy financial statement from your sponsoring organization for you to be able to get the visa approved. If the financial considerations or if the financial requirements are not met, unfortunately, that may lead to a denial. Okay. Now, it's also important to know that The refusal can occur either at the petition level, in other words, at the very first initial stages, or at a later stage, maybe during the second half of it, where the applicant has to attend the interview in his or her home country. So either way, it could be at the petition level or at the second stage. Okay, now it's also important to know or to understand what time frame the application could take, the R1 visa application. Okay, so the R1 visa application process can typically take between 6 to it could take like 2 to 6 months, between 2 months and 6 months to conclude, depending on various factors, with the initial petition reviewed by the USCIS potentially taking up to 6 months and an additional 2 to 3 months for visa processes. So give and take, between 2 months and 6 months, or sometimes if they have a backlog, it could take a little longer than that. But within that 2 to 6 months, or at most 7 months, it's gonna come out. Okay, so it's also important to ask, the processing time, it takes between 2 months and 6 months. Okay, so with that, I have successfully come to the end of the R1 visa application processes. I know the information has been helpful to you. The whole essence is that there are so many routes you can use in coming to the US. It's not only the standard B1, B2. The B1, B2 are normal visiting visa processes and procedures. Okay, now you can also use different routes. It depends on what your circumstances are. Okay, so the fact that somebody maybe approached the embassy or tried to visit the US through the B1, B2 and they failed, it doesn't mean that other routes will not go through. It depends on what your circumstance is, and each case is handled or determined on its merit. All right, and so like I normally would say, I want to hear from you. You can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I want to always read your feedback. So try and drop some comments, share, like, okay, and comment, because I need that support, because I'm working hard to grow my page. Now, very quickly, I want to get over to the second leg of my broadcast today, which is, I'm just starting this one. I'm not going to conclude it because it has a whole lot of information. That is the P1 non-immigrant visa category. Now, the P1 is actually for internationally recognized athletes and entertainers. That is, athletes are like sportsmen and women, and entertainers is a broad group where you have filmmakers, you have skit makers, you have cultural groups, you have performing artists, you have singers, you have musicians, and a whole lot. Insofar as you come in within the entertainment industry, you do some form of entertainment. It could be a cultural group. It could be you're a comedian. You're a comedian. Once you're entertained, you could be an MC. In other words, you handle events and all that. So all of these, they come under the broad term entertainers and entertainment. So once you're within the entertainment industry, now P1 non-visa category is there for you. And so I will now go on to now begin to explain more how you out there can take advantage of this particular process. These are routes you can use. Okay, you can come to the US following different routes. There is no one particular rigid category, you have to take advantage of all of the opportunities insofar as you are able to meet up with the requirement. That is very important. Okay? So if A filed and failed, that is also not your case because your circumstance is different. And once you're able to showcase what you can, what you have, within any of the routes, you can get it. That's what it is. And the most important thing, like I always say, is that now the routes are usually dual intent, in which case you can switch from a P1, you move to green card, and also from R1, you go to green card. And for the two, the law allows you to be working and making some money. You can't believe it. It's very interesting. Now, the P1 entertainment visa is a non-immigrant visa that allows foreign nationals who are athletes, in other words, sportsmen and women, artists, in other words, people who sing, who dance, and who do all manner of entertainment, and entertainers. This will include group performers, content creators, dancers, and the likes, to enter the US for a specific event, competition, or performance. Now, what it means is that there must be an event. That event could be you are competing. In other words, as an athlete, you want to attend maybe tennis, maybe you're coming to play, maybe Scrabble, you're coming to compete in any of these sporting events, and you have an invitation to participate. Okay? Now, that competition means you're going to win either a prize or you just want to compete. Okay? Or you're performing. In other words, you have an invitation to come and perform either as a comedian, you are dancing, you are performing, you have like a film you want to make, and you want to entertain people, or you want to do a performance and record and share. So, and again, you can also come under this category if you are attending an event. Let's say you have the artists that are doing the Grammy Awards for the year. You can come into the country based on this, and you have an invitation. You can come into the country under this category because you are attending an event, and that event happens to be, either you are an artist or you are an entertainer, you're performing, but whether you are performing or not, there is an event and you've been invited to come to that event. Like the Grammy Awards, like all the awards you hear about. Most of the entertainers come in under this category. You want to, the guild associations, or the performing artists, the film actors, they are doing their Hollywood this or Hollywood that, and you are in any part of the world and they want you to come, you come under the P category because you are an artist, you're a performer, you're a singer, you're a musician, you're a content creator, you're a film actor, you're a film creator, you have a dancing group, just name it, broad category. You're a footballer, maybe you want to come to the US to do trials, like maybe you're a college student in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, and you have an invitation from a particular group here asking you to come and do some trials to see whether they're going to employ you, whether they're going to give you an opportunity to become a basketball player or to join any of the sports groups, or even, you're already a professional. Maybe they want to sign you on. So in all of these, you will come in under the P category. So they will allow you to come and do the trials. They will allow you to come and interact, or you have some groups performing and they want you to come and co-perform with them. They want you to join their group. Maybe they are singing a song, they are giving you a verse or two to come and sing alongside, or maybe they are doing a video shoot of the song and they want you to come. You come under this category. Now it's broad, it's good, it's encouraging. Okay? You can attend a Grammy Award. You under this very category. Yes, you can attend. Once you are coming to attend an event, it's open for you. Once you have an invitation, you can use it to come in. All right? Now, there are some frequently asked questions about P1 visas. Now, what are the requirements for a P1 visa? The following requirements must be fulfilled in order to qualify for a P1 visa. 1. The applicant must be a recognized athlete or entertainer participating in an event of international standing. Okay? So, like I said initially, you must be either an athlete, you are recognized, or an entertainer. But you want to participate in an event of international. So this event is open-ended. It could be like, they're doing an end-of-year party, like they normally do every year. Grammy Awards, this award, that award. Is an internationally recognized event, and you've been invited to come. You come under this category. You have trials to be recognized, or they want to sign you on as a professional. You come under this category. Okay? You want to come and stage a performance, and you want to see whether you have any way of breaking into the American market. You can come in. So insofar as there is an internationally recognized event coming on and you've been invited to come, you come under the P1. Okay? Very interesting. Now, secondly, the applicant must provide evidence of legal contracts with a major U.S. sports league or organization. Now, in this case, the law says evidence of legal contracts, in which case, if you're not being signed on, if you're not being given that particular opportunity to work here, now what it means is that you will not provide that particular evidence that, okay, I have been given a contract, there's an offer for me. Immediately I come in, I sign the contract. So you must be able to showcase all of that, because once you start the process, now you come to the embassy, they see all the paperwork. They will now have to also cross-check with the organization in the US to see, okay, is it true? So person is doing this and doing that. Now, let me say that before now, a whole lot of people or earlier on will come when they attend the interview at the embassy. Now, they make an application under B1 or B2, which is visiting, okay? But then, the requirement, what they tell the visa officers is that they want to attend an event. And they will ask them, what is this event? They will say, a cultural meeting, cultural yearly organization, yearly, every year they have this end of year party, which they do as members of this cultural organization. The organization could be from an African country. They have the organization here. So members, maybe all of the nationals from that particular country or community, they set up their group here. So every year they do end of year activities. And so they now use that invitation to invite their friends or brothers from their home country. Now, under the rules, the appropriate application to make is B1. That, look, I want to attend a cultural organization. The question will be, who are you? I am a member of this group from so country. So they are doing this event and they have invited us, to boost what they are doing from the home country. All of us are members of this group. It is an entertainment. It is under entertainment. So if you are coming for B1, B2, maybe I will take that particular topic again. Now, there are different things you can do with a B1 or a B2. They are different. The immigration rules will tell you specifically what and what you can do, what and what you cannot do. Under B1 and B2, the rules do not allow you to start attending cultural dancing days, cultural yearly festivals. No, that comes under P1. So if you want to attend a cultural get-together or annual end-of-year party for your group, maybe you come from a village or you come from a particular town and you people are doing an end-of-year party. Now you can come as a sister from a sister organization in your country. Okay? Because B1, B2 allows you to do certain things, but it does not accommodate, those kind of local entertainments or those kind of local performances or entertainment, because they come under P1. If you are coming for end of year party for a particular village, maybe you come from a particular village and you have this end of year party, just like if you want to attend a Grammy Award, you are a singer in Nigeria and you want to come and be part of the Grammy Award or all the music, all the festival, all the activities they do. Now, what they would do is to give you a visa under P1 because you're an artist in your country. So because you're a performing artist, in other words, you're a musician, you want to join the American group and celebrate, you have an invitation. They give you, it comes under P1. Now, if you are from a cultural organization that has a sister organization in the US, now that cultural organization will print an invitation that we have our members in Nigeria. They are the big family organization in Nigeria. They are coming with, they are coming from the home country to come and join their sister organization here. So you are coming as a member of this cultural outfit doing a particular end of year event. Because the B1, B2, they have a separate and a different kind of requirement and what you can do in the country and what you cannot do. And those cultural entertainments and activities fall under the P1 because that is for, cultural settings, cultural organizations doing their end of year party and all of that. So I want to thank you all for listening. The P1 non-visa category is quite loaded with information. And until I come your way again, I want you to send me your comments, share, like, and follow. And like I said, follow me on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. Until I come your way again, I remain your very good friend, Paul. Thank you, and bye for now.